Well, now we'll move on to certainly a much happier case and a much more pleasant match in general, just something that everybody enjoyed. The Boneyard match was very, very well done. Very well done. Undertaker, of course, and AJ Styles, they did this completely away from the arena, and it was a completely, not pretending to be live at all. It was completely done like a vignette or people are saying cinematic style. I loved everything from the way the Undertaker entered, from the way Undertaker was just talking shit back to AJ Styles. Something that just made me laugh was when AJ went, "Hey, does your wife know you're out this late?" And the dude was like, "Yeah, she does." I just made me laugh. I love Undertaker. He was making some really goofy faces when he was selling in this match, but I just love it. This made him look.
You dug your own grave, pal.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. It just made him look like $1 million. And this might be his last match, or it is his last match. Apparently, of course, we always take that with a grain of salt with Undertaker.
No, I don't believe that.
But apparently, there are rumors that because obviously they're then previewed on the network, and I watched it was like a first look thing of the Undertaker documentary leading up to his last match or whatever it's supposed to be about. So I do believe that this may have been his last match. Now, as annoying as it is to not have his last match in the ring, which it totally should be, he looked great. And also, if you notice, at one point, now it could have been a slip-up, he actually said, of course, at first he said, when you've had a 30 career like me, whatever he said, you've been around 30 years, it's harder to keep me down. Then later he said, a career that I've had. So I don't know. Again, it could have just been a throwaway line, but it seems like this may be his last match.
That was a throwaway line.
Yeah, it could be.
There is absolutely no way they will end Undertaker like that.
The only problem with it, of course, is that it was a pre-tape. Everything was pre-tape, but of course it was completely a video. Like we'll talk about later with the Firefly Funhouse match. It was a complete video, something you couldn't do live in an arena. But Undertaker looked fantastic. He really did.
Do you think the match? Do you think the match would have been in the arena?
It wouldn't have been anywhere near as good if it was. I mean, I don't know. I would assume not, because
I think if it was,
this match, which implies that it's not in the arena.
I think if it was in the arena, Taker would have lost, and that might well have been his last match, being buried alive.
Yeah. Well, if you remember, the Boneyard match wasn't actually announced until they weren't in Boneyard Match. So at first it was just, I think maybe they would have just done a singles match. And like you said, yeah, maybe AJ would have beat Undertaker. But then I think once they realised they couldn't do that, then they got the idea for this Boneyard match. A couple of good things. I liked the initial thing with AJ, where you thought it might have been Undertaker arriving in a casket as the Undertaker that we're used to in the last couple of years, and not the American Badass, but no, in fact it was AJ Styles just taking the piss. I thought all that was good. Undertaker's entrance on the motorcycle was fantastic. He really is a badass in real life. That's how. That's why it's so believable. Came out to
It was just that bit where the camera panned up on both of them, and then their name came up beside of them while they were stood still, and I don't know how to feel about.
Some of it was goofy. Some of it was goofy. Let's be honest. Yeah.
It's were they going for a wrestling match, or were they going for a film, an action film? It depends what they were going for and what they were trying to achieve. I don't know. I mean, that question got answered later with the Firefly Funhouse. I think clearly they went for videos on these two matches. They went for video packages just to show. I mean, it is a pretty good way of them just kind of boasting what they can do video-wise. We've always known they've been amazing with video packages and editing, and I think this kind of redeems them for that Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt match from a couple of years ago. Wasn't particularly great. Ultimately, I loved the Boneyard match, but I had a couple problems with it.
Yeah.
I hated these sound effects being added to the punches like they do in film. I didn't like that at all. Having Badass Taker come back and then he had magic powers, I wasn't sure about.
It's a mishmash of all the Undertakers.
Yeah, I wasn't sure about that. Obviously, I loved having Badass back because that's just our era and our nostalgia. So, but yeah, I didn't like him having super magic powers and stuff.
Obviously, they Druids did actually.
Yeah, sorry. I like that bit. Yeah, I like the Druids. Like,
the Druids actually turning on Undertaker.
Yeah, and that was obviously a ploy by the club. But
yeah,
I did like that. Like I said to you before, I was so into this match the same way I'd been into any streak match ever, and I was like pulling my hair out and on the edge, literally on the edge of my seat, like looking at the TV. So I was like, oh, when all those Druids came out and circled him, I was like, oh, for fuck's sake, he's gonna lose.
There was a couple of moments because I watched it live with my brothers. A couple of moments there, the drama was. They managed to get the wrestling match drama into this video package.
Yeah, I agree.
Good.
I agree.
This video package had false finishes, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I really liked it when Taker was in the grave and he was about to get buried, but I knew in my heart that he wasn't. Yeah, see, again, I love that he had a comeback there in the match, but I don't know how I feel about. That magic, yeah. But
I mean, in fairness, that is something he's done.
Visually, it was wicked, but logically, I don't know.
It's not too bad because that's something he has done live as well. So it's not like they're relying too much.
It would be pretty impressive if they did that in the arena, from him to go missing from the grave.
Oh yeah, they would be. That was, of course, they took advantage of a lot of things they couldn't do. I mean, some of the bumps that they were taking, you could clearly tell, like, Gallus and Anderson went off screen for some of the bumps. It was probably a crash mat there. Like, there was a lot of cinema to it, which is good. So, yeah, overall, I would say this was a really fantastic match. A lot of people are saying it was the best match. It probably was the best match on night one, definitely. Maybe of the whole thing.
I still think the ladder match was the best performance-wise, since we're looking at a wrestling event here.
Oh, yeah.
But I cannot help how invested I was in the Taker match, and how there's no way you can underappreciate how well it was done and delivered for what they were going for.
I want them to make a movie with Undertaker as the star and like have an action movie like that, because he just looked like it. But I would watch 90 minutes of him beating the crap out of.
Yeah, and it was quite a long match. Obviously, I'm sure there was tons of cuts where
I think it ran about 23 minutes or something.
Yeah, where they could have caught their breath. I'm sure there was loads of cuts and stuff while they did some of the stunts and stuff.
Oh yeah, there were a couple of cuts. You can see, like, when Undertaker went down the ladder, they kind of cut a little bit.
Yeah. Like there was actually, and I did notice a mistake actually when Undertaker went to pick up the shovel. If you watch it back, he actually walked in the wrong direction, and then the next cut was him picking up the shovel. Okay. So there was actually a little editorial mistake in there.
Oh, I missed that. I watched it back there. I missed that one. Damn. But yeah, no, that was a great match, and that does bring it end to night one of WrestleMania. Definitely closing on a strong match there. Definitely made you want to watch.
Just another point as well. I think Taker's going to go out at Survivor Series. If they know what they're doing, he'll go out at Survivor Series.
But as long as, however they do it, however they book it, I just want it to be as good. I know it's not going to be the same, but I want it to be as good. And if that means you have to just have a similar thing to when Undertaker faced Cena at Mania, he just does his moves, looks like $1 million and wins in like 5 minutes. I don't need to see him out there for 30 minutes in pain or anything like that.
Yeah.
I just want to see it. Yeah, I do want to see him have a great match, have a good match. So however they do that.
Yeah, well, it'll be Taker Hogan at Survivor Series.
Okay, so I definitely have to pre-film that.